I'm digging up for treasures. Well, hello everybody, my name is Shenko and welcome back to the Minecraft Survival Series, episode 21. I hope you all are well. Well, I was strolling through the forest and I managed to find a trail ruin that I've been going through and taking out all the treasures from. Let's see what's in here. A brick. Alright, perfect. And while I was at it, I took the advantage of trying to collect as much suspicious gravel as I can. Because in the grand scheme of things, suspicious gravel is pretty rare in block form. So with 2 cobwebs and a little bit of time, we should be able to, grab the suspicious gravel block. Now I'm not doing it to every suspicious gravel block, I'm just doing it to the ones with no pottery sherds or the music disc. Won't be long, and there we go. Perfect. So that's what I've been doing for the past few hours or so, and it's been a lot of fun. So I'm gonna try and see if I can collect any more pottery sherds. If not, I'm gonna collect all this suspicious gravel behind me. And yes, I did break a few bits here and there, but that's besides the point. Let's get to work, shall we? Archaeology is honestly quite peaceful. Don't need to worry about builds, don't need to worry about how many blocks I'm using, how much resources I'm using. You just sit back and you just play the game. It's that simple, really. Whoops, that's my phone. Right, so I think I collected most of the treasure from the suspicious gravel, and right now the rest of the suspicious gravel down there is just random junk that I'm not gonna need. But luckily, we now have a stack of suspicious gravel, which is pretty sweet. I might display that somewhere, and we also got quite a number of these pottery sherds. If I lay it out all here, and we also got some of the smithing templates as well. Now in the last episode, we did switch over to 1.20.4, and parts were given quite the substantial change. Let me show you. So as usual, we could probably just combine some of these sherds together, like so. I heard though, if we make the same pot, we can now stack the same pots together, which is pretty cool. But the most important thing is that now, if I grab a stack of items, we can now fill the pots. This is so cool. So the pots can contain up to a stack of stackable items or just one unstackable item. And here's the fun part. If you shoot an arrow at it, it breaks open. Oh, this is cool. I love it. Imagine like a mini game where you go around doing that. This is so cool. So I'm pretty thankful for these changes as it makes pots so much more useful. In the meantime though, we can take advantage of all the blocks that we collected and we can use them in our other builds. So if you excuse me, I'm gonna pack up all my stuff here and we're going to take a trip back home once I've cleared out most of my inventory. So after I returned to my mega base, I decided to buy one of the Woodland Explorer maps from my cartographer because I'm still looking for one of the Vex armor trims in the Woodland Mansion since the last one we went to didn't have any of them. Luckily, we managed to find the Vex armor trim, and after we found that, we made our way back home, and here we are right now. Right here, you can see all that we have collected from the Woodland Mansion exploring. We have a few more music discs, we have a few bits and bobs here, but most importantly, we have the Vex armor trim. Actually, I'm not too sure what it uses to duplicate. Just by the color, I think it would use deep slate. Okay, it doesn't use deep slate. Does it use stone? It doesn't use stone. Does it use cobblestone? There we go, it does use cobblestone. So here's the Vex armor trim. Immediately, it has resemblance from the evokers with the robes and all, so it looks pretty neat. I like it. Oh, Excuse me. So what are we going to be doing this episode? Well, I'm glad you asked. We are actually going to make some additions to our Asian island right here. We've sort of held back in adding anything to the island and the mega base over the past few episodes, so I think now is a good time to actually get back into things here. So if I jump down, you might notice a few changes to the coastline on the island right here. As you can see, I've been hard at work building some cliffs over by the coastline of our island, and the reason why is because I wanted some more aesthetic looking cliffs around the island. Because let's fly over to this side of the island. So the island originally looked like this. You had the slopes of mycelium going down onto the water front right here, and it doesn't look that great. And that's why I started placing some sand around the coast of the island. And if I pull up mini hut right here, you would see on the top left corner that the biome is all mushroom fields. Anything that the sand covers is within mushroom fields. Anything outside of that would be deep ocean, and if I were to put a block right here, when it gets dark, it will spawn hostile mobs. And so from these sandy shores right here, I've been hard at work building up some nice little cliffs. Now first of all, tough slabs. Really good for decorating and really good for landscaping. Such a good addition. Second of all, the cliffs are undetailed at the moment with just stone and tuff right now. So I'll be going through them in between episodes or in another episode where I can go through how I detail all this. Stick around, you might find out. So today we are going to be working on more decorations and expansions on our Asian island right here. Not to mention the past 2 weeks or so was the Lunar New Year's, and I've been having a lot of fun visiting family and spending time during the holidays. Also had a lot of good food, like really good food. So because I had all that time celebrating Lunar New Year, I thought it as a good excuse to expand our Asian island right here with a few more additions. But the first thing we're going to be working on is at our mega base, because I want to make another island with another building on it. See, I haven't made any expansions to the mega base ever since episode 13? No, 12 even. 13 was the barn. So we haven't made many changes to the mega base right here, and I was thinking to put another floating island right about here. Somewhere about here, or right here. I'll decide where to put it later, but I really want to expand more floating islands with buildings up around this mega base so that I can go up at different elevations and it'll just look really cool. Now in between episodes, I was collecting a whole bunch of materials using a beacon, and so we have quite a lot of stone right here, and we're going to be using them to build our floating island. We're going to use this as the baseline to build our floating island, and we'll see what happens from there. You know what, since we had one right here, I think we're gonna put one on the other side of the sun of Tayo. So somewhere like right here would be a good place. Right about, let's say the midway point, like right here. Right, much more organic, I'd say. Not that much of a uniform style island. It's gonna be a little bit rugged. I'd sort of predicted that. It's not going to be any perfect per se. It's just gonna be very rough, but we'll work through it. So far I have this section of the island, which doesn't look too bad. But we'll see what happens once I add in the other two sides of the island. I'm currently using a method by Pixel Riffs in order to build the floating island here by marking out a cross-section of the floating island in question, just so I can get a good look at what the floating island looks like. For now, I'm just messing with the overall shape of the island. We'll see how this goes. So how does this look so far? You know what? It doesn't look too bad. I actually like the volume of the island compared to the previous one. The previous one looks a little bit, well, shallow, per se. But the new one definitely resembles more of an island. Alright, so we at least have the cross-section of the island, which doesn't look that bad. It actually looks pretty good. So what we need to do now is just start with a whole bunch of circles around the island. Small circles on the edges, and then slowly build our way from the top all the way down to the bottom in each quarter. That is going to be a lot of work, but I think it's going to be worth it. Alright, let's do this then. That is not looking too bad so far. It is a little bit rough. So currently I'm taking a different approach to building this floating island compared to how we did it in episode 12. Over there in the old floating island, you can see we only use tuff, stone, and soil, dirt. But in the new one, I'm using a few more blocks. Like the tuff is still here, we got some deep slate in, and even up there we have some dripstone blocks and some dirt with some hanging roots. Let me just go into free cam real quick. So right here I marked out how big the island is going to be, and I've created the outline of the top of the island. How is it going to look like? So then I proceed to break down the floating island into some layers. So I'll be filling in from the top to the bottom, following the aspect of filling in at the very front and then working my way down to the bottom. Only with stone, and then after that I come in to decorate it with other blocks. So it's been going well so far, using Pixel Rift's method of building the floating island. For right now, I still have 3 more quarters to go in terms of filling in the shape of the island, and then after that we'll be able to put our building on top of it. So that's gonna take a little bit more time then. Now would you look at that island? Ooh, very nice, especially from a distance. As you can see, very different compared to the island that we first built, but it looks way better. Now before I explain the rather weird structure on the island itself, let me just grab a grass block. Right, so as you can see, I've started placing down a few blocks in order to shape out a build that I'm gonna put on this floating island right here. And most importantly, I need to start letting the grass grow on this. I have an idea of what I want to do, but I don't want to jump into it just yet because I want to let the idea sit for a little bit more unless I need to make any changes per se. So while I let the grass grow on our new floating island, I want to tackle another project. I would like to tackle another farm on this island because, well, farms are important for the progression of what we want to build here. Now if we jump down, you might think because we're growing a whole bunch of bamboo around and we're going to be using bamboo in all of our other builds, you would think that we're going to be building a bamboo farm. But no, I don't think we need a bamboo farm because this is already pretty satisfying. And you can already collect a whole ton. Yes, a farm would be easier, but quite honestly, I don't really need that much bamboo wood for the moment. So I am just going to let this sit for a little while. But maybe in the future, who knows, we might end up building a bamboo farm. But, you know, cutting bamboo is already pretty easy. So instead, we're gonna farm something else. Now in the past, I've built this roof right here of this little shack with red nether brick. And honestly, I'm kind of disappointed in myself for not using red nether brick enough. But the problem with red nether brick is that it uses nether wart. And nether wart is notoriously very finicky to farm. So because of this, we are going to create a Nether Wart Farm. How exactly? Well, we'll see how it goes. First of all, I do need some resources from my storage room. Right, so I need a bit of building blocks, so we're gonna grab some dark oak. And we're gonna grab a bit of bamboo because we have quite a bit of it. We also need a ton of soul soil, or soul sand actually, so thankfully I have a ton there. Now this little part by the side of this barn is a little bit dark and a little bit awkward with the little valley that we have right here. I'm probably gonna cover over this, but I also would like to build the farm here because one, it's dark. It's right underneath the storage room floating island that we have above. And so this little place right here would be perfect for our Nether Wart farm. While it is really good for mushrooms, we're gonna grow some Nether Wart right here. So let's get started, shall we? Now just for your eyes, I'm probably going to light up this area a little bit more just so you guys can see what we're actually doing. Right, step one would be to clear out a bit of the area in order to build the farm in question. So it took a little while, but we now have a fully functioning Nether Wart farm. Since I've been up in the floating islands collecting resources and doing a whole bunch of villager trading, the Nether Wart down here seems to have grown quite a bit actually. We are getting quite a lot of Nether Wart, and I have some very nifty redstone right here. So the collecting device is a hopper minecart going into this chest right here, as well as the usual item unloading redstone behind here, but it is linked up to back here, this redstone right here. Eventually I'll be able to hide this, but for now this will do. Now when you flick this lever, the water will flush out all the nether wart down into the channel, and the hopper minecart will pick it all up, going through these two channels, and will then stop. Just watch. So it flushes it all out. We close that. The hopper minecart then goes about its journey. And there we go. It comes back here, and it will unload all the nether wart into that chest right here. I think this is pretty neat. Usually people don't build nether wart farms because what do you use nether wart for? Well, you're able to use nether wart to craft red nether bricks, so I think this would be very useful for us. And so over the time I've been running this farm, if we look in this chest, that is a lot of nether wart. And I am a happy farmer. So, Nether Wart Farm completed. I like the design. It fits well with the farming area. I might need to build a little shack beside this to cover up the redstone right here. But overall, the farm fits in well with the rest of the farming area on this island. So while I've been building this farm, I've been brainstorming ideas on what to build on the floating island. And I've got a start so far right here. What? Hi, how did you get here? I am very confused on so many levels, but okay, you can. What? Okay, I'm not gonna complain. But as you can see, I've made a start in planning out what I'm going to build here on this island. It's gonna be a very cozy little house with some East Asian influenced designs here, and that is a very long lead. I can't get over it. It's just a bug. I've actually also started using these bee nests as a platform, and they look really nice. I like that top texture, although the side texture is a little bit weird, but I think it's fine. Now I have the layout planned, and in these shulker boxes right here, we have a whole bunch of resources. We have a lot of calcite. I'm not sure whether I'm going to use calcite, bone blocks, or the usual mushroom stem to build the walls, because wow, is it hard to collect a whole bunch of mushroom stem. But we got a bunch of tuff, we got a bunch of spruce, a few stone types, and some wood right here. I don't know, we'll see how this goes. My storage room is just over there, so if we ever need any more materials, we can just go over there and collect it. Right, so with the materials behind me and the wandering trader seemingly interested in what we're going to be building, let's get to work then, shall we? Right, let's do this. And given enough time to build, we have finally finished the second build in our floating island mega base. Doesn't that look amazing? Ooh, that looks nice. Now once again, the house is situated on top of a floating island here, much like our storage room. And we have managed to expand our building block repertoire here. You can see that we spent a lot of dark prismarine on the roofs because, well, the tile texture of dark prismarine really lends itself well to East Asian builds. We also took advantage of a few other wood types such as warp nylium and also bamboo. If you look closely right here, yep, there we go. The bamboo is laid on its side and it's showing its top texture on the side, so it looks like it's tiles on the roof side here. Honestly, I love the color choice here. We have the shades of brown of wood as the base. As you can see, the warp nylium, the dark prismarine, and the cut copper all the way up there, shades of blue for the roofs, and also the pops of yellow in the windows and also the small little details in between the roofs. And honestly, I am really loving these bamboo trapdoors. Bamboo trapdoors are honestly really nice. They look really beautiful and they lend themselves well to East Asian builds. Coincidence? I think not. And this island is easily accessible from our little platform that wraps around the Sun of Tayo, right here. And there's a little bit of water where we can choose Riptide to fly over. Now, if you follow into the entrances, you can see that the interior is still very much being worked on. I'm experimenting with the walls right here with some stripped mangrove and some white terracotta, but it's still very much a work in progress. Everything in stone, it's still in its planning phase. Between the walls, the stairs, this is the middle floor, still very much open. If you got any ideas of what I should put in this house, leave a comment below and I might add it, and I'll credit your name into it. You get to be part of this build, which is pretty cool. I also need to decide on how to get to the top floor, because currently it's just a bunch of scaffolding that leads up to the top floor right here. So one more thing I'd like to add to the house is a few lanterns. If I look into, yes, this storage box right here, I should have a few more lanterns. Where are my chains? Right here. Let's grab a few more chains, and also let's grab some bamboo trap doors. You know what? I'm not feeling the lantern right here. It might need something else. How about some ochre frog lights? Okay. I think that looks better as a lantern of some sort. Yeah, I like that. And there we go. It's lit up much more in the dark, and it definitely has a better presence lit up than without all the lanterns around. I'm definitely very proud of this build. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Now there's one more thing that can enhance that island slightly more. Let's grab a cherry sapling and some pink petals. That is definitely better as like a nice little tree underneath in front of the building. Although we might, you know, it's good for now. You know what? Temporarily it should be fine, but maybe in the future we'll do a little bit of a revamp of all these cherry trees right here. I will say I do love the particles of the petals just flowing down past the structure and the Sun of Tayo. Doesn't that look beautiful? So it seems for this episode, at the very least, the building aspect has already been achieved. However, before we end this episode, I'd like to give you guys a little tease into what we might be doing next episode. Or more so, what the plan is in between episodes. Let's drop on down to the coastline that we made earlier in the episode, right here. So let's just build a little enclosure. So if you're wondering why the extra level of security, well, let me explain. Right in my Trails and Tales backpack, I've been hard at work and managed to collect up to 9 turtle eggs. And there is actually one piece of armor that we have yet to collect. So what I'm going to be doing in between episodes is I'm going to set these right here. And I'm going to let them grow. Just like that. Just going to let them grow naturally right here. So that's essentially what I'm going to be doing in between episodes, just watching over these turtle eggs, and hopefully we'll get enough scoots to get the turtle helmet. And from the ground, you can get a better look at the underside of our floating island. Yes, we have the first and the second. The first is definitely more simple, but the second, I'm definitely more proud of that. But anyways everyone, I have some turtle eggs to take care of, so that's why I'm going to leave it for episode 21 of the Minecraft Survival series. I really hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe to follow along the journey with me. And as always, my name is Shenko. Thank you so much for watching this video. Take care of yourselves, be nice to one another, and I will see you in the next episode. Until we meet again. Later!